getting into prepping, priorities of survival. Yeah, this is just to recap on the priorities of survival. I'm just going to run through the priorities as we've got, and then I just got some closing statements on that. First of all, priority number 1 is your security. Priority number 2 is your first aid. Priority number 3 is your shelter. Priority number 4 is your fire. Priority number 5 is your water. Priority number 6 is food. Priority number 7 is your navigation, and then priority number 8 and 9 is your communication and signals. Now, just to close off, I just want to discuss, I did mention it when we started off in this series of priorities. Your priorities will not always be the same. It will all depend on the situation. If you are in, for instance, in a situation where you're in a desert scenario, you will definitely have to look at shelter. You will definitely have to look at water as your first and second priority. If you are in a environment where there's a lot of water available, but there's animals that threaten you, security would be priority number 1, and your water priority will move down because there's more than enough water available in the area. So the priorities will depend on the situation, and that will you will have to look at what your requirements, your immediate requirements is, and your immediate needs are in that situation. Always look, when you look at priorities, look at the rule of threes. Just to run through that, it's 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. So that will be your starting point to look at what your priorities are in any emergency situation, and then as we've discussed, the priorities that we've identified out of that, so that we can actually look at that. So that's just the conclusion on the priorities and the way that we look at the priorities. So the situation will determine your priorities. With that being said, thank you for sitting through this tedious videos on the priorities, but I do think it's important that we understand the priorities before we can actually continue. Because if you understand the priorities, you will understand why the rest of the stuff follows in a logical order, and why we do things that we do and the way that we do it. So thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for watching. And like I always say, see you in the next video. And in the meantime, keep on prepping.